Hoser's here. That means it's time to start a podcast. Returning for the first time, but it's your second time on the podcast. Math. Finite Fidelity.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I almost said Fair City Fire again. That's what I did the first time as well.
Fair City Fire.
Messing up the F words. I feel like John Stamos today because we got a full house in here.
Ooh. Ba-dum-bum.
Kill yourself.
You could probably just end it right there.
I know. Yeah.
That was good.
Podcast over.
Yeah, but we do have one.
Definitely throw a laugh track in there. It's all about the sound
Maybe
effects.
put more sound effects in.
Yeah.
Put a laugh track from Full House in there.
From now on, the rest of the podcast is filmed before a live studio audience.
Well, since there's so many of us here, how about I'll go around and say your name, and then you just make a vocal. How about say a character from Full House?
Fuck.
Don't
I'm not very-
reuse it. Well, make one up then. So we've got Ryan from Finite Fidelity.
Bilbo Baggins. He was in Full House.
Yeah.
Full Hobbit hole. That's almost sounded weird.
That sounds like a good
Full hole 9.
Getting this podcast
I'm going
started
to avoid Ryan's a private collection of films.
And we've got
It's not enough
Joe.
he made him. My precious.
Hey there. I'm What? I'm sorry. Who's the comedian?
You gotta
Bill.
know it. Oh, it's Joey.
Yeah, we're not going to help you out.
Yeah,
Joey.
man.
No, the other guy.
This
That
is
the
the
comedian.
quiz right here. This
Oh,
is
Joey.
trivia.
You're thinking of Jesse.
No,
Uncle
I'm
Jesse.
thinking of Jesse. I'm thinking of the other guy. Who's
Uncle Joey.
actually a
Well,
comedian.
Just pick,
Yes.
pick,
In real
pick
life.
Uncle Jesse because it's
Yes.
out there.
Oh,
you're
thinking of
Oh, you're thinking Danny Tanner.
Ah, son of a bitch.
So that's
you're just
Joe.
giving him
And
out.
you got
Tanner.
Brett.
Who's gonna have him?
Hey,
left?
Hey, Brett.
Kimmy from next door.
Good.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Got Brian.
Yeah, I'm Topanga.
Shit, that's not Full House. What?
I like
So
it.
hot.
I like it.
I've got Ian.
Which one did you say, Joe?
I said Danny Tanner.
Okay, because you were given like 3, so I just
Bob
wanted
Saget.
to make sure.
Bob Saget.
I guess Jesse then.
Nice.
Yeah, this is Ian's first podcast with us.
It
too,
is.
by the way. He
We'll
wasn't
talk
here last
about
time.
that.
Welcome.
How do you like it so far, Ian?
Oh, I'm loving it.
like McDonald's.
I like this dog right
This
here.
podcast brought to you by.
Scott.
I'm Stain Jamos.
There you go.
Yes.
Is that
Whoa.
some sort of pig Latin?
Yeah, sure.
Lat
What'd you
pig
call me?
From the Rippers.
Tim.
I gotta pick Michelle because I forgot the other two sisters.
Michelle.
Oh.
There you go.
And I just remembered one of them, Steph.
Nice.
That says
What
a lot
about,
about
isn't
you,
it one of
Tim.
the Olsen twins or both of them in there?
Both of them, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both of them.
Twins, Basil.
Yeah, you can pick one or the other.
And I'm Matt and DJ. She's the cutest.
Nice.
No, Bilbo is.
He's also a DJ now in the new Full House.
He's talking about Stephanie.
Oh, you're right. I am talking about Steph.
Yeah.
Whoa.
She got new boobs and became a
He
DJ.
became a
I love that's like the only way she was going to come back to the show is like, I'm only going to come back if I'm a DJ and I have new boobs, and everybody just accepts it. And you forget that I was on meth for many years.
Full House.
Shade.
No one's doing the double DJ joke, except for me.
Oh, yes.
Like,
If you got it.
That was a slow burn. Goddamn.
That was a good
Smoke if you got him.
Trying to get everybody to sing the theme song. Everywhere you look, everywhere, it's a heart, it's a heart.
Please put it in.
Original score by Eddie Vedder.
Dragon. Full
Everywhere,
House.
hoo-ha. So you guys are here today, Finite Fidelity, because playing together with Fair City Fire again at Stubbs again, this time June 16th at 9 o'clock for the Fair City Fire tour send-off, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Good
Much
place,
exciting.
good
Bye-bye.
event.
pretty cool.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Anybody else playing with you guys?
No.
Good.
Actually, just the two bands.
Good.
Two awesome
Yeah.
bands. of
We're
rock.
all you
Shit,
need,
yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
2-hour sets each.
We'll see how the night goes.
See how
You
the night
know,
goes.
like we want to make the crowd happy.
It's a good
There-
7.
We're gonna have to get a couple pairs of panties though to really keep that
Yeah.
going.
Yeah. I was going to say, 2 minutes in heaven better than 1 minute in heaven. I just stuttered because I'm kind of tipsy.
That's all right. It's because he's so intense.
So honest.
So Ian, as I said, this is your first time here on the podcast.
Yes, it
You
is.
joined the band. Actually, I think you had joined the band just as soon as we had recorded the last time, but you were still
Pretty
kind
damn
of
close.
You
getting
joined
into
last
it.
summer.
Yeah, it was.
Like,
It
been
was
about a year.
June
Late, yeah, or
that it was
midsummer, yeah.
decided. I think it was beginning of June, and we had our first show together the end of June, which would have been Carousel was the very first one, followed immediately by us going to San Antonio and playing at Jack's Porch or whatever.
Jack's Patio.
Jack's Patio. That's
Jack's Patio, not porch. Porch, patio, and potato.
You know what happens on Jack's porch?
Oh,
Stays on Jack's porch, and rightfully so.
There you go. So have you made your coup yet? Like, and you've been there a year. Have you tried to take over?
It's a slow burn. I'm working on it.
Already.
We're eventually going to be shifting over to 80s synthwave pop. It's
with a hint of K-pop, I've heard.
Because I'm so evil, I'm giving away my master scheme now. Because you can't stop me, Mr. Bond.
We're metaphorically tied up. So what's been going on, guys? In a year, you guys have both had albums released, both bands. Fair City Fire is about to go on a tour. I don't know if you guys have anything in the works.
We do.
If you're looking at it, yeah.
We're going back to our homeland. Tim and I's homeland.
I was going to say.
Sorry, you couldn't see me making eyes with Tim. We were having a moment. And
we're going back to Lago Vista, Texas, where I'm from.
Little known fact where Tim and I are from, yes.
Just kidding. We're going up really north.
Yes.
The land of the...
We're going to the up north.
North of the wall.
Don't you know? Don't you know?
We're the wood trippers.
The land of always cheese curds.
You guys are going to Canada?
Tim and I are both from Wisconsin, so we have been away for some time, and since we have this phenomenal and kick-ass band, and we wanted to get out of the state, we decided we would go up there, where we have some friends and family awaiting us.
Hello,
So are you guys doing like a tour up there, or just...
We're filling in some dates around the area, but kind of just the way with crunch and time went for us, we're pretty much keeping it within a week to give ourselves some enjoyment, see the sights, play some shows with some friends and people while we're up there. But it's just a rock and roll vacation, baby, is what it is.
You doing like 5 or 6 shows?
Packers.
We've got a handful planned out.
Cool.
You guys have to do that 70s.
I'm gonna pack a lot of fudge in my fudge hole. My mouth.
That was Bilbo
Ryan
Baggins.
from Finite Fidelity. That was Ryan from
And a
Finite
lot of-
Fidelity.
Ryan from Finite Fidelity
and a lot of
does not
cheese
represent the
in my
interests of
cheese
Finite
hole.
Fidelity.
He is not in Fair City Fire.
All right. Where do you guys feel like, this is for both bands, but where you are as bands now, with albums being out, is there progress? Do you even think about it? Are you in a place where you want to be? I mean, you've accomplished some things. Are you on like the next launch pad to do something that you really want to do with the group?
Well, Stain Jamo's here. I feel actually we're doing a lot better than I thought. I mean, that's personally how I ever would. Even just in the Austin scene, like I never really imagined being in a band, going on tour, like a small tour stint, or even just being able to play Stubbs for a CD release. And I don't know, that's I think we're making great progress so far. There's always stuff that needs to be done, but I do take every single thing that we're doing as an accomplishment, yet there's always something to be more done. But definitely I feel like we've evolved way faster than I thought we ever could.
That was a pretty awesome show, that Stubb show, the album release.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah.
Still feel that one?
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, we had really good inspiration from this cool band we know, Fair City Fire, that they seemed to do that and worked. And
Shut the fuck up.
Didn't you smash your guitar on that
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yes.
a piece of it
That was so
flew
cool.
right past my face.
And then
Yeah.
he flew into your
And then he flew.
So
right
I
into
didn't
my
really
drum set.
anticipate, because I didn't have another guitar to rehearse with, so I didn't really think about all the pieces of guitar and like wood chips and everything that would be all over the stage. And one of those fuckers took me right out Mario Kart style, and I went straight into Ryan's drum kit. And the funniest part of that is here I'm like so anticipating and excited to be the badass smashing a guitar for a show, and like everyone's gonna remember that. And everyone seemed to remember better the fact that I went into the drum kit afterwards than the
You
actual
lived.
smashing of the guitar. And like everyone's like, dude, when you went into the drum kit, I was like, yeah, I totally planned that.
I'm actually a little concussed right now.
Head right into the cymbal.
there's
The best
two of you.
part was turning my head to see Ryan still like beating it out on the kit.
Yeah.
Like didn't
I was like,
hesitate.
He was beating
we didn't rehearse
That
this.
sounds like a Ryan move. Yeah.
Classic Ryan. Just beating it
It's
out.
like,
When in
if
doubt,
beating out on that
your head's
kid.
there, I'm gonna hit it.
He
man.
didn't miss a beat beating it out.
Your head will be my symbol.
I was half
Splash.
expecting it. I really thought that was coming.
Well, how about the Fair City Fire guys? New single coming out. It's ready, from what I understand.
Woo!
Yeah.
It's on
It's being
it's in all the
mastered.
trades.
Yeah.
mastered.
Yeah, tour's coming up. Obviously, June 16th is the launch day.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Excited.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, this is our third one now, so it's definitely like just. It feels a little different this time. Like we feel like we know a little bit more what
you
to
know where all the
expect.
skanks are.
Yeah,
New York City.
Oh no.
I got all their numbers, man.
That really does make it
You
easy.
meant
Ryan
skunks.
loves
Yeah, you don't have to
girls.
like go
Watch out for
find them.
those skunks.
They'll come to you.
Gonna get your Tinder loaded up for each city.
Oh, dude.
He made Grinder.
Hey-oh. Yes,
Grind
bringing
up.
back the grinder.
Grind them up.
It's
Good
gonna
old
be
meat grinder.
We don't discriminate.
no. It's gonna be different this time because there's 3 of us going on
Right.
tour as opposed
Yeah.
to the full four, and so it'll
Opposed to
be
the
it'll
full
be different.
foursome.
Yeah, it'll be a
Fearsome
different
foursome.
feel. I don't know. Each show will be pretty unique. I feel like, and I don't know. It'll be a new struggle.
I gotta
You're
ask this out
definitely
of curiosity. Like, is that like being in, like 3 pieces? Sometimes feel a little more freeing, just because you're kind of going more with the raw rock and roll, and
I don't
you kind
know.
of open
It's-
up the doors to what you're gonna play, and maybe a little
Freeing.
less formatted than.
I don't know. To be honest, like, it's something we've done out of necessity, but it's never been like something that's like, oh yeah, I prefer this. Like we want that, for almost no reason. Like we prefer like the 3-piece band? In my opinion, like
Yeah,
that's how I feel. I want another guitar player there.
Yeah, so I think we all do. I think we're all on that
And,
same page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I also enjoy just playing. So any opportunity to play, whether it's 3-piece or 4, doesn't matter to me. But I would prefer to have the full sound because I think that allows you almost to do more, because you don't have to focus
you don't
so
feel
much
like you have to
on
fill out as
filling the
much.
space. Where you
I guess
can
I'm just
kinda
thinking
like,
more in terms of you, Brian. Just like, am I gonna switch over for a quick lead lick, or I'm gonna stay on the rhythm, and like how am I gonna mix it up, and like kind of go by the seat of your pants more, maybe. And just-
Yeah, I think it's kind of like what Brett was saying. It's pretty similar. It's just like I feel like I have to cover so much more that I can't really, improvise too much. It's kind of like, you gotta play the rhythm and the lead parts, and then that doesn't really leave any room for you to just like make shit up or interact with the crowd or whatever. So it's kind of like I can get by and play the songs. Like it's still gonna be fun, and it's gonna sound fine. But like it's just not quite as much of like, I don't know. I don't feel like as much as like that just rock and roll frontman kind of thing when we don't have another guitar player.
seems like a lot to focus on too.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're
My life is so hard.
but
you
yeah,
know?
we're definitely doing like excited about the 3-piece, and
The tour's
for
gonna
now,
be great.
the tour's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome. Hitting some cities we've hit before, but I don't think we lose too much sound as far as
No.
the 3-piece, as far as things
I
go.
don't think so.
It's
I mean, I missed like the keyboard stuff, but it's like
Yeah.
that's why it's good having a 4th member. Just adding in that little extra layer.
Yeah, exactly right.
But
I mean, it's kind of nice too. Like a lot of these shows on tour, like we've played a few of these cities before, but for the most part, we're pretty new in all these cities, so they might not necessarily even like picture us with another guitar player.
yeah.
3-piece band might be what they think of us.
I think
which
we
is cool.
just think that way because we're used to the 4-piece. I mean, we were a 4-piece when we started and lasted 2.5 years before we kind of like had to find another 4th member and I wouldn't say forced into a 3-piece, but we accepted that challenge to be a 3-piece. So I think that we think of it a little differently, or at least I do, in the sense that it's like, fuck, man, we had Derek with us for 2.5 years, so it's like we're used to those extra little.
Yeah. It's easy to hear
those
what's
little
missing.
sounds. Yeah,
Whenever
exactly.
you heard
right.
it for
But
that long.
Outside,
saying his
outside
name now,
looking
huh?
in on that.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Say, outside looking in on that, being somebody that was in a 2-piece, then a 3-piece, then a 4-piece, for not having all the textures that you necessarily probably want, it still sounds fucking full. How much ground y'all cover?
Cool.
Like I don't think y'all need to worry about that. I mean, granted, it's going to be good to have another guitar player for y'all, but I don't think you need to worry about how full it sounds because y'all sound fucking massive for a 3-piece.
Thank you, good
That's-
sir.
Yeah, for
That's
people
nice,
on the
man.
road
Thank
that
you.
haven't
It's really
heard
nice
y'all,
of you.
like they won't know. So
Yeah, we're gonna have another guitar player at Stubbs. So
yeah, just but on the
know.
road, I think
Yeah, but on
like
the
people
road,
just
right.
will see a 3-piece and be like, oh,
Yeah.
But then next time you have a 4-piece, that's
And I'm like,
where shit gets real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then their head explodes.
Yeah.
It's kind of exciting going as a 3-piece because there's like, the way I feel about it is that there's not a whole lot of pressure behind this tour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I feel that way about it, but I just feel like you walk in as a 3-piece, and the way I feel about these guys playing ability, and I feel like we can come in and dominate as a 3-piece, and there's not a whole lot of pressure in my mind for some reason because there's only 3 of us.
I
It
think
seems
it's-
like
you
you-
guys are the 3 amigos. I mean, you're core at this point now. So
Yeah,
like,
yeah, definitely.
there's not bringing someone, a 4th person in who hasn't been around as long as you guys.
Yeah, there's.
So it's just,
I'm Steve Martin.
Well, we've been playing.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick this next character for me. Now I'm Steve Martin from the Three Amigos.
We've been playing
call.
for. I mean, if you, because we actually met, in the cover band before Pharisee Fire, so it's like fuck, we've been playing for almost 4 years now. Somewhere around there, right? It's got to be close to that, Brian. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Hot
think
damn.
so.
Yeah. And so I have a whole lot of confidence in these dudes. So I think that's part of the reason why I feel so comfortable as a 3-piece. I'm curious about your guys'
That's
tour.
that's
Is
just
this,
mean.
is
That's-
this- I know
that's
it's a
just
mini
plain
tour. It's
mean.
only like 7 days, but is this your first? Have any of you all been on tour before?
No.
We're virgins.
So this is a new Into the Fire experience.
Yeah, that's got to be exciting.
Let Fair City Fire tell you.
I'm
where
kind
to
of
sit.
It'll be
like-
exciting once we get on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. Yeah, right now where it's stressful and I don't know what to expect. I'm excited to play other places other than Texas. I just have no idea what to expect.
Where y'all going?
We
Dude,
are.
Joe.
I'm sorry.
We're going
Spent
places.
5 minutes talking about
North
this.
of the wall.
That's Joe's.
Oh, yeah, that's
thing.
right.
Joe does
We're
that.
going now.
We're still
Yeah.
in true procrastinating musician fashion.
I'm just kidding.
Completing parts of it, but I think we're not gonna have any problem with finding something at the end of the day where we have Chicago, Madison, Milwaukee, Minneapolis. Considering St. Louis, it's really kind of an enlightening thing when you start looking for weekday gigs and fills when you're going in between your main decided dates and realizing, shit, yeah, Austin is kind of its own thing,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Music capital of the world might be a big chest puffer, but it's definitely not comparable to a lot of places. You look at these cities and you're thinking like, oh yeah, like it should be easier to get like a Tuesday slot or something like that because we're nobody and they don't want to put us on a weekend right away. And then you find out nobody's doing music on a Tuesday or a Wednesday or a Monday.
Yeah.
It's like they got trivia night, they got the comedy hour, and like every other thing.
Did you
already
guys go
slotted
in
out?
and-
And they're like, yeah, we don't really do music on the weekdays, and so then it starts being this thing like, we gotta find like the cool place that just happens to take a band on the road on a Monday.
Yeah.
Couldn't you do that though? Like, oh, we're doing trivia night. Like, oh, we'll just come in and run it. Like, if we get a piece of the bar.
I have yet to have that offer.
How many?
Fuck it, we'll
I
do-
would not.
are
I
in
would
a
not
string
be
quartet.
opposed to it,
We'll do
but
music trivia. Fuck you guys. We'll do it.
our
you
next
paying?
endeavor is to try to get on a brewery here through Ryan's cloud of being with Live Oak. Like, there's Live Oak beer in it for you. We're gonna
some beer.
Nice.
Bring some fucking beer, man.
I guess.
That's exciting.
Are
y'all.
you bringing a keg on tour?
I'm bringing a couple cases at least. A keg, we might not have room for a keg, but
It might be all drunk by
Never
the
say
time we
never,
get to
I
our
guess.
first gig.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's definitely exciting in the way that we have gotten for the dates that we solidified right away. They came through help from friends that we already have.
Yeah.
Cool.
and that's really
That's the way to do it.
exciting to have friends like friends from the past who are connected with new friends, all musicians that are coming to your aid to make this happen. In kind of a mutual understanding that like they want to do the same thing in the future, and we want to build that relationship, and that excites me to know that I get to play with some old friends that want to go tour regionally around there, want to do more than that I can look forward to seeing down here in Austin in the future and return the favor. We just, as an example, had a show at Mohawk with friends that we've managed to make from Chicago, North by North. And
From
Oh,
you
yeah.
guys, Fair City.
Oh, that's right.
Good old North by
Based on
North.
y'all's connection.
What up? Say what up?
I forgot
Kendra?
that was the original connection. But
Little shout out to Kendra and Nathan.
That was really cool.
Yeah, they were,
absolute shout out.
Super helpful people.
They actually helped us out with bands in Memphis.
Nice.
Yeah, she was Kendra contacted us and gave us a whole list of bands. It was really nice.
They're
Yeah,
awesome.
Kendra got me in touch with some people in Chicago, and it's cool too them finding out that they're from Chicago, because as I'm like searching through these bands and making contacts that she suggested, I'm like, you start seeing that degree of separation shrink because I'm from the Midwest, and very quickly I'm like, oh yeah, they're friends with these people. They played with these people before. One of my friends, Morgan Ray from up in Madison, who's going to be joining us on a couple gigs. She's played with some of the bands that Kendra recommended.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a small
It's
world.
it's kind of one thing I've noticed about this tour versus past tours is we've made more connections. 'Cause we're going to a lot of the same cities that we've gone in the past. So like, we could start kind of hitting up some bands that we've played with in the past and be like, yo, like what venues are cool or what. And a lot of them are like down to help us out because we've already done it before, and it's been just a little bit easier. So that's something to look forward to after your first one.
I mean,
It
that
gets-
was definitely
yeah,
why,
it
like,
gets easier.
Doing like Milwaukee, Madison, and Minneapolis came right away because we all already have friends out there, and that just definitely made it the easiest.
It's cool. That's another cool part about Austin too, is it's such a city for other bands from all around the U.S. to travel to. So you meet a lot of bands, and then you play shows with them, and then when you decide to go on tour, they're very helpful. Because if you reach out to them and say, hey, if you played a show with me in Austin, you meet a lot. What I'm saying is you meet a lot of people in Austin. So when you do plan on your tours, you get a lot of help.
Yeah, and I think the return too of you could find yourself, I think, in bumfuck nowhere, and if you work with a group of musicians there, happen to play a show with them, and they're of the serious caliber and desire to get out on the road, you can pretty much guarantee they're going to end up in Austin, because it's just one of those destinations for bands in this country that
Absolutely.
if they're going to make the effort to tour, they're going to end up in Austin. You're going to see them, even if it was like up in Boise, Idaho, and you wouldn't expect to see them down here or something.
It's nice too because you return the favor a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
Which is nice.
we've opened with that and made some good friends, that we're looking forward to playing with for the first time.
Yeah.
Just by being like, hey, anytime you're in Austin, that goes as a no-brainer. We're here to help. We'd love to play a show down the road.
Yeah, we love that. Because it's easy to get in competition if you're in a like-minded genre with other bands, and they're good, but we could be better.
Do you get that way, Tim? Do you really? Do you
But I've
guys
been in
feel that way as a
bands that
band,
do
or is that
that.
kind of a Tim thing?
What?
I mean, feeling like you're in competition.
I've been in bands that did.
Dude,
Actually, well,
I'm always in competition.
Okay,
I'm not
so
gonna lie. I'm always in competition.
I have a good quote about this. So my late guitar teacher has some very wise info about this as far as being in competition with other bands, other guitar players. It kind of was like, so it's always kind of be mindful. Obviously, like, I want to be better, I want to be the best, whatever, but don't be a dick about it.
There you go.
And so what he always told me is like, Scott, no matter where you are, who you're seeing, like if it's a guitar player, if it's a band, whatever, if you're playing in a group or whatever, there's always going to be the one asshole in the back crossing his arms saying he can do it better. And you're going to find yourself at that point sometime in life. And not going to lie, I have been to some places to where I'm the asshole in the back crossing my arms, and I see myself and I go, oh, fuck. And I just try to appreciate the band for who they are, just knowing like, okay, they're different. They're not what we're doing. Even if they are doing what they're doing, they're a different band than we are.
Yeah, come on.
Well,
We're
that's
trying
right.
to forward. They're 12 years old, for fuck's sake.
It's like we're trying to it's like we're trying to forward ourselves, but let's make this more of a camaraderie thing rather than a competition.
Well, that's a reason you're not that.
Yeah.
You're not an asshole because of the way you feel about that. You catch yourself, I guess.
It's definitely being like competitional, but in a different way.
There's
like
no
you're not trying to be better than anybody. You're
exactly.
There's
no harm in being.
You're still
that
trying
way.
to get ahead.
Yeah.
There's Trumpy words.
I feel like the way that you're explaining it and the way I kind of feel is like I'm always going to be competitive, but I'm not going to talk about it. I'm just going to go fucking do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to go up on stage and give.
You're a grower, not a shower.
You know what I mean? and try to,
you gotta walk the walk.
But
I mean,
but it's fun to be it's fun to have that competitive edge, I think.
Well, the alternative is like, because I think it pumps you up, especially if you're playing rock music. The alternative is going up and be like, damn, those guys are way too good. I can't even, I'm going to get up there and just.
No, you gotta. You get the attitude, and it helps, but it's not how you conduct yourself with other people. And when you actually, talk with these other musicians, talk with these other people, you're just feeling awesome and lucky to be like doing shit with them
Yeah.
and like sharing the story.
And that was my original
but when
point.
when you're sharing a bill and you're about to go on
Yes.
and when
Yeah.
we're like opening up,
Dude,
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
we're
we're all
gonna
trying
say to ourselves,
we're all trying to be musicians. and
Yeah.
we're all doing it together. Like it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. We're all doing it a little differently too. So you shouldn't climb over people to get somewhere. Like we're all
No,
trying to
man.
make our merch money back. We're all trying to get our sound out there. We're all trying to meet some cool new people. So yeah, like listen to somebody do it. Hey, if you come through
People
town,
make their merch
hit us
money
up
back?
because we like you.
Dude, I remember the first
Pending.
time seeing you guys went to Rattle In when we played together. You weren't in the band.
No,
Skylar was
I
still
wasn't.
in the band. I don't even know if you had moved here yet. You were probably still home. We're going back. What we were talking about is I remember we were playing. You guys started playing because we had no idea who you were, and you started playing. And Derek, the original the second guitarist in the band, right? He looked at me and he got, because you started playing and you started ripping a solo, Scott, and he looked at me and he goes, I'm fucking amped. And he just got so pumped up that, which in return got me so fucking excited to play next. So that goes to what you guys were saying. It's like, yeah, you're competitive in that way. Like, I like to be competitive that way. If I see a good band go up, I'm excited about it.
Oh, they just girded my loins,
Yeah, but
brother.
I was Bilbo Baggins again.
But it did, man.
I'll be here all night.
I remember Derek looking at me because I was like, what do you think? And he just turned to me real slow and he was just like, you know how he got on stage. And he was
Cruzy?
like,
Cruzy
yeah,
did this?
Cruzy said that. He goes, he just looked at me. He's like, I can't wait to fucking play. And I was like, what? Oh my God. I just went through the roof with energy. It was just waiting to play. I mean, you guys brought it that night, first night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Made a big impact.
We'll keep on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Keep on keeping
I'm
on.
super excited for you guys to go on tour too. That first tour is always fun, scary, exciting. Like
I'm
it's
excited
all-
to share
like,
the farts in the Taco Bell a little bit.
Pretty much. I honestly,
So
that's
many
what,
farts.
That's what tour is. It's
Everybody
smells.
farts.
Like, you're gonna know everybody smells by the end.
You
of it.
should break a guitar
You'll know,
every
like,
show.
everybody's fart personality.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
art profile, if you will.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
you know, I don't
Like, you can
fart
start a
ton, but
Facebook-
when I do, I make it count.
Like, you could, like after this tour, I imagine to start a Facebook page for everybody's fart profile.
Pretty much.
We'll probably be able to determine each other's moods.
Actually,
Dan, what's up?
Hey, you okay?
You sound kind of down.
No, but
smell
I am really excited because that's a fun time. Like going on that first tour is
Yeah, and-
gonna be
and
sweet.
again,
Well, what
like-
about when you go on the return tour? Like, if you see somebody at one of the shows when you're revisiting these cities that was at a previous show, are you gonna flip your shit without knowing them? Not one of your family members, but just somebody that's followed you.
Oh, man, that's tough.
That'd
That's-
be really
that's
cool,
happened
man.
already.
That's the dream.
Like that's happened already. Just like here, like
And Austin.
one,
Well-
in Austin, I just like one,
Yeah.
like one or two people that have just liked us just to like us, and they come back. They follow like, yeah, I'm gonna go to every show that y'all do now.
But he's saying on the road.
On the road,
That's even
that
like
would,
that's
I mean,
impressive.
I'm not saying that. My point is, I've already flipped my shit now because that's happened here.
Oh, yeah,
I
that's
can't
true.
imagine what that's gonna feel like later down the road.
he's guaranteeing a flipping of his shit at a
yeah,
higher
like, I'm literally
level
gonna get a spatula
than
and flip shit.
he already does.
You
I
guys-
hope I
yeah.
remember because it's so
Yeah.
they're not. You
Oh,
know,
play it
they're so
cool. Yeah, I
spaced.
like it. That's a good way. Yeah.
No, I'm not being serious. It's like it's so spaced apart. I mean, it's not like you're going on tour every other month.
And, you know,
Look-
there's like thousands of people at all these shows. so
Look,
it's
look,
like-
guys. You don't have to be afraid to open up
It's
your
hard to
heart.
pick 'em
and
out.
You might get
No,
hurt.
but-
It's okay, guys. It's okay. Just
You were
If it's
bartending
not
here last
friendly-
time
if
we
it's
were
not
here. That's crazy.
friends or family, it's kind of I don't know. It'd be difficult to remember unless they actually came up and said something. You know,
So didn't get a lot of that last time.
I didn't. No,
Yeah.
but I'm also I crawl into my own skin at the shows and
Afterwards, yeah.
afterwards and really don't talk too much. Brian's more of a social butterfly when it comes to that.
well, you know me.
I get you on that, man.
I do, yeah. And before and after.
Fucking bass players.
Yeah.
I get the before.
They're just so mysterious.
I'm so sparse and like unreachable for the most part in the before of a show, but usually afterwards, it's like all of that inner has now been made outer, and
It's not any, but now it's an outie.
It stays there, and until I'm too drunk and someone must take me
Outer,
home.
hardly know her.
That's called foreshadowing. I'm talking about later tonight.
Inner to outer.
Yes.
That's how it
Nice.
works.
Yes.
Sound effects provided by Ian Gokel.
Correct.
Whoa.
So, Brian, since you are the social butterfly of the band,
Am I?
Flutter, flutter, flutter.
not
flutter.
before, but after,
Yeah.
I think you like to make the rounds, right? Don't you?
Yeah.
Like you definitely got likes to thank people
It's
for
like-
coming out. and-
It's one of the only times I'm not super awkward, so it's cool. Like I feel like I'm confident because I just put on like a show, you know, and people enjoyed it. So I feel like I'm 100% like just ready to just talk with whoever.
Right.
Did you like what you just saw?
Yeah.
Did
You want
He's
some
really-
more of that?
Brian's really good at that. He's really good at reaching out to other musicians and the bar managers and kind of whoever's paying attention during the show. He's really good at connecting with those people after the show,
Reach out and
which is
touch a
nice,
fan.
man. It truly comes in handy too. I mean, I've been working with Brian for a long time, and I've watched the connections he's made over the years and how it's really affected us as a band and furthered us as a band and given us more opportunities.
It's all a game.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's all a game. I don't
might
really
have-
want to talk to you. I'm just playing the game.
This is all an illusion.
This is you
man.
losing.
Of Thrones.
I might have mentioned it last podcast, but I was a fan of Fair City Fire before I joined Finite Fidelity.
Oh.
And I can't quite recall how I first heard you guys. Either I was in a bar just hanging out and you guys happened to be closing a set, or like some other way someone recommended you. But yeah, like a week before I officially joined Finite Fidelity, I remember planning my Thursday night around going to see Fair City Fire.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like I fucking loved them because they just had that like, no facade energy. Like we're not trying to be energetic because that's what sells. Like we're just loving what we're playing and we're loving what people are responding to. So I was stuck with it for a while, and so when we got reached out to them or reached out by them, it was quite a thing for me.
I don't know. I think something that definitely drew me to you guys is obviously, I don't know. You don't seem to take it for granted that that you get to play shows. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's a lot of bands that just, I mean, they've either played a lot or whatever, and it's just like they just look like they don't care that much on stage, and it's just like something that is a pretty similar quality in a lot of bands that we enjoy a lot. Is that just just it being so obvious that like they know what they're doing and like they want to be there and they're super pumped to be playing, and there's people in the crowd and they want to put on a great show. It's like you guys are absolutely all about that.
It makes
I
all the
think
difference.
Yeah,
It really does.
really does.
We try. I
Yeah.
think that's the
You guys
main
are
thing.
very, very authentic.
I
We
don't
just
know.
try to
Welcome
together
to,
a special set for each set, almost,
Yeah.
Just like try to tailor it to each venue.
Welcome to Compliment Fest 2017.
Yeah, that's right. Well, so, like for me at least,
This is rated R, man.
Yeah,
Becoming a
It's
bit of a
getting
circle
little,
jerk, you know?
a little bit.
Ryan, lay
But
something on.
it-
Yeah,
it's-
we're one compliment away from a circle jerk.
Yeah. But for me at least, I've always kind of like just had the impression of like when you're on a stage, like doesn't matter who you're playing for, play like you're closing Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Except if you're at
Thank you, New York.
Except if you're at a place that like doesn't have a PA but just booked you for a show, doesn't have barely a stage or like anything.
So Stomping Grounds North.
No need a name drop, but
Yeah,
Stomping Grounds North.
no, we need a name drop. That was a horrible fucking
but-
gig.
No, but that was like one bad gig, but everything else, yeah, we try to really just give a shit.
I don't know if it was because they were already so uncomfortable with this awkward, like, don't feel like this is a place they should be playing as a band for music or anything like that. But none of them really ever looked behind them. And the biggest of projection, it wasn't even a screen, it was basically a wall, the whole wall with the football game at the time projected. And they launched into
band
playing,
banner,
and
but
I'm watching, and
football
I'm like, oh shit, no, that can't happen. And I'm going up to the bar, and I'm like, hey, can you cut that? Can you cut that? And they like see me talking to them, I remember them like some kind of like Tim looking at me like, is everything okay? Like, I don't like when I see Ian looking like that out here while we're playing, like trying to have their back. And
We've
Yeah,
we've
it's-
definitely been in that position before where
Yeah.
like there's football going on, or like last year I think we played in San Antonio and there was the Spurs
playoffs.
or the playoffs were going on
Oh,
basketball,
Jesus.
and we just kept it there. We were like, you know what?
Nope.
It's like because the Spurs I think were in the playoffs, weren't they?
Yeah,
And so it was like, we're
Thunder.
not going to turn off the Spurs in San Antonio.
Yeah, not a good idea.
Yeah.
Being from San Antonio,
Can't do
not
that.
a good idea. Ever.
We were like, hey, just take a seat. We'll relax for a bit until it's over
Just
with.
keep the game on.
I think we started an hour late because of it.
Yeah.
But there's fucking no way.
I mean, they're
dude.
probably
Yeah.
cool with it though, like
Well,
for
the
the
venue,
bullshit of it.
was cool with it, but like, you guys know San Antonio and their
From there.
Spurs, right? You don't want to fuck with that at all. They're nice
No.
people until you
It's a
mess
religion
with their
down there.
basketball, yeah.
As a
their
Spurs fan,
Spurs.
yeah.
But
Big time.
I can understand that. Like I get that. Like the whole hey, you guys know this like game is like on your faces. Like, please take that off.
No,
Well, it's funny.
it's
That
just-
does remind me. I was playing a gig at Mohawk like years ago, and it was like this UT. I think it was a special game that UT was playing. I didn't remember just 'cause I was so like ready to play the gig, and I just remember we had to wait to start because they wanted to watch the rest of the game, and it was at Mohawk on the inside stage.
Fuck
So we
that.
just waited it out until
So
like
wait,
the
this
game
was like
ended.
this was like the staff that wanted to finish the game.
Yes, the staff wanted to finish the game. We're like, oh well, fuck. Okay,
Yeah, that's Texas football. That's just how it is, man. Strike 3 for that venue was when they told us to turn it down.
like
Oh.
four
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
You don't tell Finite Fidelity.
It's like they told our
turn it
music.
down.
You
they
don't
told
tell
the
rock
band
and roll to turn down. You
to
don't.
turn down. It's
Apparently-
like then don't book shows.
Oh no, the best part about that though is the band directly after us
Oh God,
was
no.
like a just heavy
They were like core new metal.
It was
Yeah,
corn
so-
new
yeah.
metal. Yeah.
And I remember the waitress, like apparently she felt comfortable enough to come up to us to tell us to turn down. As soon as they started, she stayed behind the bar the
Yeah,
entire
she was
time.
Like, fuck this. Like the night is gone.
Oh
Yeah.
The
no.
night is lost.
Yeah, they're like, well,
Damn.
the thing is, if they're a bar, of course they have like live music, which I think they were more of an acoustic setup anyway.
Yeah, with
But
no
they're a
PA.
bar, and they're like, oh, we get noise complaints, and like we get the cops called on us if it's too loud. I'm like, then why the fuck did you book
You
us?
just booked 3 heavy rock bands.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, you'd be surprised at the no amount of research that occurs in those correspondences very frequently.
Yeah, it's all
as
in the
much
pamphlet.
as much as you think that you should show up and the bar staff should know there's a band playing that
Fuck,
night.
they
Oh no.
They should maybe know what type of music they are.
But they just
It
woke up
says-
an hour ago, so
But this is all explained in the pamphlet where it says, don't act like you know the bar. They won't know you. They didn't even know there was music this evening.
yeah, I think
If you guys-
Joe's right. That was covered in the
Have any of you
pamphlet.
ever showed up to a gig and refused or just decided not to play because of the setup or anything you saw? Have you always gone through with whatever it was?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Show must
Played
go on.
Every
Yeah.
show,
Yeah,
no matter the
exactly.
fucked up circumstances.
Yeah.
What would
but
it take?
have ended shows because we were told to.
What would it take to
Yeah.
like not play? Would it be like, oh, by the way, we promised you $100, we're not going to pay you tonight, kind of thing?
The
Or would
power
you still
going
play?
out.
Oh yeah,
Power going out.
pay-
Yeah, I
pay
just turned the
agreements.
fuck up, and whatever fell off the shelves, and that'd be on them.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been stormed out in
what's
the
up?
past for like outdoor like beer garden type gigs that didn't have like a cover all, and it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, if you guys don't have the facilities for covering our gear, there's nothing we can do. I don't really consider that canceling a show. I mean, I didn't cancel it. Mother Nature did. That's force de majeure at its most classic. And I mean, if you don't have a cover and it's pouring rain and there's lightning in the sky, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
One time we
What would Dio do?
One time we stopped because the sound guy left.
Sorry.
That was Dio, everybody.
That was actually a rooster.
The sound guy left. He went to another bar where he was also doing sound, and our stuff started feeding back, and no one was there to fix the feedback. So it was like, well, we're gonna not play because it just sounds like everyone's
The
ears are bleeding
soundboard
right
was
now.
Wow.
also behind the bar.
The song is called
Yeah.
Access to
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And the bar was up the stairs and about a half mile away.
Yeah, like you couldn't.
I mean, it wasn't like it was right there. You had to walk it like down the stage. So you had to go down the stage,
Was it
across
Lucky
the room,
Lounge?
up the stairs,
the Nook.
No, it's-
around the far
Probably.
back end
So I
of
mean
the
a name
bar
drop.
to come up to the very front of the bar.
What
yeah.
does it buy a second bar?
The Nook.
Okay.
Was-
Okay.
I was
But-
thinking Bat Bar
But the
for a
Nook
second.
is so supportive of the Austin
Fuck
music
the
scene.
Nook, and I'll say that right now.
Let's
Fuck
get into it.
the Nook. They
is-
fucking suck dicks.
Let's talk about the issues.
The Nook is a handicap accessible alleyway.
Well, I want to know.
I have played there. There's
Dude.
a ramp
Yeah,
and a stage, kind of.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is actually worth getting into because it's really interesting when people get movements going on Facebook. And wasn't this a movement?
It
like
was.
Save the Nook, because there was like, what were they saying? There was noise complaints or something.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
like a
the
apartment
Weston,
building
the
or
Weston
something.
Oh, the
behind
Weston.
them was they didn't soundproof their walls, or at
Right.
least they went in before, checked the sound levels. Then they did some stuff, and then whenever they built the Weston, people were still complaining because the Nook plays bass thumping music after 10 o'clock to midnight
What
about.
do you expect?
And
Done,
so
man.
then the Weston complained and they sued them, and then everyone got behind the Nook because they were like, "You're trying to get rid of an Austin thing. Like we're local.
An
But
awesome
if you
shithole.
But if you actually read the article, which no one never clicks on
Mm-hmm.
to read, they just go, fuck the Weston. They suck. They hate music. The Weston actually offered, because one, if you guys played at the Nook, I don't know if you guys have.
Never
or not,
have, but I've stepped in there.
I've
already
seen
fucking
shows
hated it.
there.
fucking
I
horrible
saw
sound
Kadu and the
system.
dude with Bushwick Bill
the
there.
sound
That was
system is
surreal.
fucking terrible there. It's awful, and it's bass heavy in a bad way. And like Joe was saying, the sound guy, he comes there for 5 minutes, does your sound, and he's doing 6 other gigs down 6th Street. So he's gone. He's fucking gone.
And probably a lot of
Should be
blow,
like
too.
6 other lines of coke.
Yeah.
Hey, that's no excuse.
So if you read the article, the Weston actually offered to buy them a new sound system, something more up to date, up the code, better, that would perform better in that situation, and they turned it down because they knew Austin community would have got behind them and bitch about the Weston, which is retarded.
And I remember reading that they offered a sum of money. I didn't actually realize that they were like trying to address a specific problem, which
I read that too.
I commend them for.
Yeah.
And I remember just kind of the general gist of it was like based on their revenue and their overhead. That sum of money doesn't really mean a whole lot, and what it costs to like maintain one of those properties. As a venue down on 6th Street, with what the overhead costs. But to hear that it wasn't just a sum of money, that it was something, specific to the concern and the
Exactly.
issue.
Yeah, they're trying to address the situation.
That kind of changes my thoughts on it.
But not only that, the Weston supports musicians way more. So we could get in this because Brian and I we actually play the Weston up north for over a year every Wednesday, and they treat us with better than any fucking 6th Street venue has ever treated us, ever. You go to the Nook, you play. They want you to play 2.5 hours with 1 break, and they give you $150 to split between your fucking band, which is fucking pennies. Unless you're rocking a 2-piece, it's still bad. It's still bad for a 2-piece.
You want 2 sets for
and they want
$150
2.5
is
hours for
ridiculous.
like $150.
I mean,
You gotta
And
come
they're
down
sitting
here
there
to
like,
park. You gotta.
oh, the Weston's trying to kill live music, when they're killing live music by not offering them affordable wages to live on in Austin.
But they're giving you exposure.
Yeah,
Totally. Exposure doesn't pay my
Yeah.
rent.
yeah,
Yeah.
How fast
I don't
we
like
got
it.
that
I don't
record
like it
deal that
either.
we turned down, by the way,
It's worse than
that we
Canadian
turned
dollars.
down from
Down
those
the
Dirty
Nook.
Dog gigs. Once we were on 6th Street, it changed everything.
Dude, that shit
and
irritates
I
the
mean,
hell out of
we
me.
got these $1 million offers, but we had to say no because our integrity.
Being in a band now where you guys are kind of on a roll, doing things actually like in a functional, stable band that is in a position to make money, and it's not just like a hobby type thing. Do you guys still tell people that you're in a band to this point, or how long do you wait? Because like when you're younger, it's probably like, oh yeah, I'm in a band. I'm in a band.
I like this.
Oh, dude, I
How long before meeting somebody do you tell people now?
I almost fucking instantly
Faster.
every time. I am such a shameless promoter.
Faster.
I can't
Yeah.
fucking help it.
I think I'm down to 3 seconds. Like, what do you do? I'm like, I'm a
Band.
musician.
Yeah. I say proud. The way I see it is, and this isn't like I don't feel like it's a bad thing. It's a point of pride. It's like, hey, we're out here doing it. Like you should be proud of it. You should be proud that you're out here trying to like follow your dreams and help people with the music that you make or whatever the heck you're trying to do with your music. I think I commend people who are doing that. I commend people who are just happy in general and who are being happy with what they're doing. And I think that we're all like pretty happy, I think, with what we're doing and stuff, and like we're out there doing it. And other people are happy too, but we're happy.
And if you're not shutting people down and you're just offering, the honest to God's truth of, yeah, this is what I do. It's awesome. I love it. That shit's contagious, because people want to be just excited together about what they're doing. We just want to find the thing that we love and do it. So I think it's just really about how you tell everyone you're a musician. It's easier with other musicians because you're sharing, common ground excitedly together. You're telling them so that maybe we can relate closer than being just musicians. Maybe like, oh yeah, maybe we play with that one band together, or we have venue stories to, share. And so immediately you're jumping in the fray of that because it's like, full immersion. That's why you try to make money doing it. That's why you try to make it a career, is so you can be fully immersed by the thing you love.
And I'm kind of thinking too of like total stranger though at like a bar. Would you Like Brian, what would you do? How long would it take you to be like, I got a band in town?
I don't
Like
know,
if you
'cause
were
that-
on Tinder or something like that.
I think
like,
it's when
would
it's
you
brought
tell
up.
them
I think it's
in
when the
texting?
question fits, the answer fits the
Exactly.
question, you know?
I don't think it's something that I like offer right away. It's just if somebody asks you about yourself, like, I don't know. That's pretty much like the whole part of my like. That's like everything
What we
about
do.
me.
It's what you do.
How could I
Yeah.
like if you were to ask me like,
Hey, what is
What I'm
Brian?
all
What do
about?
you do?
what makes you tick, Brian?
Actually, I watched the show The
girls
Tick.
say,
What
you
really
know,
grinds your gears?
I
as
mean,
the gals say,
right?
what
Like
makes you
most
tick?
questions for getting to know a person would lead to music
Yeah,
right away
just
because
let
that's
it-
what you are as a person so much.
Right, that's everything.
Let it come
Like,
up conversationally.
What
Don't
do
be
you like?
I'm in a band.
Music.
Yeah, it's not like I
what do
sit
you
there
do?
and I'm just
Music.
Like, I-
Yeah.
Brett, you can probably speak to this since I live with you and I've seen you go through this, but it's probably a lot easier to tell people you play music too when like things are like when you do it, like do the extra stuff besides just the music, but you're doing like the business side of it,
Yeah.
and making it happen. It's a lot easier to say like I'm a musician.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's been a full time. I do nothing else.
Yeah, it's been.
I fucking do nothing else. That's all I do is music. I don't have any other job. So for me, it's because like Ian was saying, it's most people go, "Hey, what do you do for a living?"
Winning.
I don't do any. I just play fucking music. I don't do anything else. Like, I play NHL hockey with my roommate Matt Jones,
Tell us more about
and
this
I
guy.
play music with Brian Wolf. Way too much.
Yep.
I mean, it's all we do. So I don't know. It's before I was a full-time musician, I didn't bring it up at all. If people ask you what'd you do, I run a restaurant or I work at a coffee, whatever I was doing at the time, or I worked at Wimes. Because to me, it wasn't like that's what I did.
Well, that's
I didn't
impressive
wanna-
restraint because
Well,
for me,
no,
I'm
I
like,
just-
well, I do this just to make money. This is my day job, but at night I'm Batman. You know, like
That's just the way I felt. I didn't feel like I was a full-on. I knew I was a musician in the sense that I enjoyed music and I played music here and there, but that wasn't when someone goes, "What do you do?" That's not how I spent most of my time.
Who is your daddy and what?
And now I spend all of my time doing music, and I've made that transition, and so now I feel comfortable saying it because that's all I do. I don't do anything else.
Well, doesn't it blow your mind then with people that like offer that right away? I'm a musician, but they're like, "Oh yeah, my EP, it's gonna be out in like 8 months." Like, just finding like
Jesus.
a,
Kills me.
a
Hey,
bassist, like,
come hang out with me.
here.
I work
Yeah.
at this bar.
Yeah. Here's my card.
7 days a
Oh,
week.
this is the first thing I got
Oh,
was
so
this
you
card. that
work
said
at the
I'm a
bar.
musician.
I've got a gig next Monday. It's
Here's a sticker and a card. I don't have any content, but I
It's
got
at your
these
mom's
printed right
house.
away,
I'd say I admire
That's a
the
late joke.
enthusiasm when there's some refining to do.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't just bum rush people with that because that's where people are like, ugh, like, okay, like we get it, you know, it's like when you
We
know,
get it.
Yeah,
your band
I-
sucks.
how do you know when there's a vegan in the room? Oh, they'll let
Like-
you know.
Yeah. Like
I-
we get it, dude. Your band sucks.
I enjoy to paint, but I'm not a painter because
Yes.
I only paint once
There's-
in a blue moon. You know?
There's those people too that are starting out that are like, they're playing at like Carousel Lounge the weekend of ACL, and they'll be like, "We got an ACL show
Yeah.
at Carousel
Oh.
Lounge," and it's like,
Oh Jesus.
wait a second,
Well,
who
you were
told you to
saying-
say that?
Tim.
Well,
I was
I
just
guess-
relating to what Brett was saying. Absolutely. I mean, I worked. I've been working at South Austin Music now, not even a year.
Name
Before
dropper.
that, I worked for a landscape company for 2 years. I mean, I was making, I was like 7 to 5, 5 days a week, making money, no problem, playing gigs as well. But I wouldn't
Manscaper by
say
night.
I'm a musician. Be like, oh, I play music.
I play music for
But I'm
fun.
making
Like,
money
hey,
right
what do you
now
do for
kind of thing.
fun? Oh, I play music.
And now
Manscaped.
working in the shop, like I meet musicians daily, so it's totally become that. Hey, man, like how you doing? Like who you playing with? Oh, I play with these guys, and it's all that the reticence about portraying yourself as a musician is gone because you just see how day to day they are.
You
It's
are-
not some like pedestal. It's just like,
Yeah.
hey, he's playing a gig tonight. I'm playing a gig tomorrow night. Like he's got a CD coming out. I've got a CD that just came out. Like who cares? Like we're all just having a good time
Yeah.
working music together. So
I mean,
you're
I had
living-
to, I had
reaching
to
that stage is
meet
really
people
Yeah.
rewarding.
and say I was a
It is, yeah.
musician
It is, yeah.
without being in a band. without having anything on the horizon, anything coming out. I mean, so like there is still that side of it. Like, what do you do when you don't know anybody in a place? You're not doing anything as a musician yet, but that's what you know your calling to be is.
Even if you don't have like,
what are you going to not mention it to the people you meet? You have to, and so it's figuring out how to do that without being that guy like, I'm a musician. Excuse me. But you got to find a way to like make that forefront, even if you're not doing it, if it's what you want to do.
best way to like say that, you know, if even if you don't have anything going on, it's like, oh, well, what do you do? And something like, I'm a musician. Whatever. It's like, yeah, I'm freelance musician. You know, freelance. Yeah.
Well, Scott, you were saying like I think when I first brought up the question of like the people that are like almost more promoting the idea that they have this thing or album or project that's not really there, but they want you to think it is, or
you got to be cool.
You said
about
you hated it.
Yeah,
you don't like that at all.
No, I don't. I fucking hate it. But I'm also like I'm also a shameless promoter as well. But you just got to do it in the right way, and you got to be be real with yourself. Don't write the smart comment.
Right way? Did I do it right for you, Scott?
Yeah, you gotta do it the right way. You have to definitely.
You just gotta grab it by its haunches and just hump it into submission.
Yeah. God damn it, making me lose my train of thought. I got some hookers in my room.
Just round them all up and fuck them all to death. I'm sorry. Sorry, off topic. South Park reference.
Back to the pile.
Back to rated R.
South Park, thank you.
So with that,
well, I think it's the idea of what you're doing is you're promoting.
But it's okay. What it is before anybody else interrupts me. You gotta be real with yourself, and don't try to promote something that isn't there. That's why you say like I'm a freelance musician, or just like you might have an album coming out. Don't be one of those assholes on the street that literally just throws CDs at somebody's face going like AP, you know, like don't fucking do that.
You want to check out my mixtape?
Let it come up naturally in conversation. Like, well, what do you do? I'm a musician. Okay, cool, man. Are y'all playing anytime soon? Yes, June 16th, Stubb, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Did y'all, where can I find y'all? Oh, we actually just released this album. You know, just let it come up naturally. Don't be the shameless promoter that's also an asshole.
Right. That's
people,
true.
Yeah. And what I do, I always get people, because I always say it in like my intro. I'm a tour guide.
Totally shameless.
So I say it in my intro.
Usually
like,
wearing the shirt too, right?
Yeah, I'm wearing the shirt.
I ran into him once when he was
I've put like
working.
stickers on everybody's forehead at this point. I've basically held a gun to their head and made them sign up for the email list.
Yeah.
I've done all these things.
Is this the
Hey,
Austin
they
Duck
get
tour?
free EPs though when they sign up, so it's not all.
Yeah.
The real Austin experience,
So-
bitch.
So what I'll do is, I'll do all that first, of course, but then I'll do an intro, or I'll just tell, because they want to know about you as a person in Austin. So I say, went to school here, and then I started playing music here, and then naturally, just from saying that, like you don't even have to say, you could just say just literally that I went to school and then I played music, and it just starts to get brought up in conversation when you start asking about them, and they start asking about you. Okay, so what kind of music do you play? What does it sound like? How long you guys been together? It just all starts to like form into a conversation, and then you can.
That's probably like really fucking cool though for them. I would imagine like coming to Austin, it's like this guy who's like but like real band. I guess that's what I was getting at was when you guys are promoting something, you're promoting something that exists. You have content. You have a website.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're not a
You've already
garage
made
band.
something. You're not promoting something that you say is going to happen in the future, and I think that's pretty annoying.
And it's
We're actually
we got
taking
a single mic recording on SoundCloud.
It's
Check
really
it out.
kind of
we're
like
actually taking this seriously.
it's really kind of
We're not
reaffirming how
half-assing
people
it.
react, because whenever you tell them like, oh yeah, we're about to go on the road again, like we're going to New York City and we're doing these things and stuff like that, people are like,
you are a real band.
yeah, they're like, oh, like you tell them like, yeah, you're in music and stuff, and then you tell them like, yeah, we're a 3-piece right now, we play music, we're about to go up to New York City. They're like, oh, like it changes their whole demeanor, like, wow, cool, like I don't know, it's pretty cool.
It
It's
is neat.
reaffirming.
Sorry, go ahead.
What I was just going to kind of, I know some of the stuff I was saying earlier made it sound like if you're not full-time musician, you're not a musician. I want to clarify. It's like kind of what you guys were just talking about. It's if you're actually doing things. Because I feel like more often than not, a lot of people that say, oh yeah, I play music. Oh yeah, what are you doing? Oh well, nothing right now. But I'm looking to do this, and and if you're actually out there doing it, whether it's playing open mics, 6 nights a week, it doesn't matter if you're in a band or not, but actually putting yourself in a situation to play music or be a part of the music scene is completely different than just fooling around at home on the couch with your guitar or bass or whatever it is, and just going, yeah, I'm gonna play music at some point, but you never actually put yourself out there to do it. And that's the huge difference between a musician and someone who just does it for fun. Because the real musicians like you guys and ourselves, I believe, will go out and get it. They don't just wait around for it to fall in their lap. And I feel like a lot of people wait around for that instance or whatever it is in music, just to go, oh, well, here you go. Here's the easiest way to out here. And that doesn't happen. You have to go out and you have to want it.
Justin Bieber
Those are
didn't
the
have to go out.
hobbyists, and that's what difference. Like
It is the difference.
You should be
It's a
able to
huge
talk about it
difference.
as a job if it's definitely not your hobby.
And it's,
I don't know.
And
I mean,
it shows through you guys' work ethic, because, I mean, Brian and I, we talk about it a lot, and like the way that you guys progressed over the years, it's insane. I mean, not even the years, a year. Like you obviously put in the time and effort and the practice, the time to be a great musician, and it shows. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people just say, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna."
Bieber
I'm already
Bieber
good,
just put something on
but
YouTube.
I don't play
Yeah.
in front of anyone.
Bieber was on YouTube before anything.
But I'm the shit.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, but
I'm
that
the
shit.
best guitarist
I
in my
remember
apartment.
Matt and I were at a bar the other day. Well, it wasn't the other day; it was months back. But some guy was like, "Oh yeah, I play drums." I'm like,
yeah,
"Oh yeah." We're like,
yeah.
"Where do you play drums at?" He's like, "Well,
Drum hero.
oh, I'm in this band." I'm like, "I'm in this band and from Dallas.
Yeah.
We actually haven't practiced yet or played a gig yet." I'm like, "So you're not in a fucking band, then?"
I've been in it for like 2 years. I just got this wrist thing right now, so I can't really play. He was really saying that.
He was
like,
dead
my
serious.
Wrist, I just couldn't. You know?
And that's a thing that's a common. That's
So you're not
very
in a band,
common.
then. You're not playing music.
Exactly. So,
But it is kind of cool. I was actually gonna kind of backpack what Joe was saying earlier, as far as just talking about what you're doing actually, and it all kind of backpacks on everything. But working at the shop that Tim and I do, and this is kind of a circle jerk about Austin. That's why I love it so much, and I really wish that I wish like every city was like this. By the way, we're all hand gesturing a circle jerk right now.
I'm not doing anybody. I'm getting jerked.
It's a metaphorical.
It's metaphorical.
I'm not completing the circle.
But it's
physical. That's
Well,
right.
What I really genuinely love about Austin, it can be, I mean, you have these cats that come in all the time.
Meow.
That.
Ryan, dude,
This guy's
where's
saying,
your headset at?
This guy's saying cats
Why
over
did-
here.
Sorry,
did you bring
it's
your
okay.
headset?
It's
You got these
being-
cool cats.
They are. They're cool as people. I mean, fuck. Okay, it just the whole community of Austin musicians are actually really cool. And if you're not like supportive of other musicians trying to go what you're going for, fuck you. But it's really like just refreshing to see people like you guys, Fair City Fire, any bands that are playing with each other. And just be like, oh yeah, so what are you up to, man? Like, oh, we got a gig here. When are y'all playing next? Oh yeah, we're playing at Stubbs. Oh fucking hell, you're playing Anson's. Oh fucking hell, what the hell? That's awesome, Great, yeah, we're playing in Houston at the whatever. It's a great camaraderie having. It's even more refreshing working at the shop we do. We have these local legends that come in. I mean, may he rest in peace, but Jimmy LaFave, who passed away recently, every time he came into the shop and I would talk to him, he's like, man, what are you up to? What are you doing? He was a legend. He still is a legend around Austin. Mm-hmm. I mean, people like Denny Freeman, who mentored Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimmy Vaughan and helped them play live and get them in the scene and get them to where they are. And, he's played with like Bob Dylan, all these people. Just have him come in every Friday and just be like, hey, man, when are you playing next? Like, what do you got going on in life? It's like, oh, yeah, I'm playing Stubbs in about 2 weeks. Like, that's fucking awesome, man. Hell yeah. Congratulations. Like, great for you guys. I'm really glad y'all are doing stuff. And it's, I don't know, I love the camaraderie of Austin musicians. And it's at that long lines of you're doing things. Like, it's a very supportive community when you're doing it.
It's true.
I think one of the last things I want to talk about is, you guys, Finite Fidelity, have a pretty, I think, fairly creative little Instagram thing. You make these pretty good promos. Probably, I don't know if they're spur of the moment or
no.
what.
That is, I'm sorry, I have to interrupt only because that is all because of Ian. He started off this whole train, and we have not stopped, and I've loved every second of it. But continue. So
I guess the idea is, and I think Fair City Fire fits into that, is, how do you balance being serious about the art, but not taking yourselves too seriously.
Yeah.
Kind of.
You write serious shit, and you want that to be displayed through the music. And, that's kind of how I always felt about it. I want to be a fun band, just personally, but I write a lot. Like when I write stuff, I typically write a lot of stuff that's very dark, very relationship related. Just anything, like a lot of stuff that I write is just very dark. I haven't written much stuff that's been happy. And to counterbalance that, you kind of got to have a sense of humor about it. I mean, look at a band, but I'm sure Ian will agree with me once he goes on his tangent, like Red Fang.
It's coming.
Like Red Fang, we draw a lot of inspiration from because they're a stoner rock band, but they write a lot of serious, very heavy material, whether it be like fictional or actually stuff pertaining to relationships, life in general. But like, look at their music videos. They have nothing to do with the subject matter of the song. They're just funny as hell. And it's like, you kind of got to have that to really just enthuse people. It's like, because otherwise, if you write sad material and you portray that on stage and you portray that in your videos, you're like, I'm fucking depressed. Jesus Christ. Like, why do I want to listen to this band? I mean, it's good, but they're just sad all the time.
It's just downers.
It's just downers, so it's like you got to have that, and it just kind of reflects who we are as people. Like, I write dark stuff, but that doesn't reflect me, who I am, or it doesn't reflect how any of us are.
Yeah.
As a person.
As I say, it's the hardest thing is to write like a good happy song.
Yeah, we talked about
I
that.
remember Brian saying that one time.
But I think this applies to you guys too. What I hear from you guys is, it's really just you guys being yourselves and being honest and being willing to be.
We're sharing behind the music, but we are, like, this is our music, but we also want people to like us, not just for our music, but who we are as people. That they'd want to get to know us. I mean, we want to get to know them as much as we're able to. And
It's always fun to show like you are, I don't know, like somebody too. Like you have personalities, you have ideas, you have funny things that that other people think are funny. You know what I mean? Like Ryan's still Ryan.
I'm still me,
and I'm still me, and Ian's still Ian. And at the end of the day, that's all we got.
Well, where's the balance? I mean, and maybe Brian. I know this is probably something you can speak
Celebrate
to.
me.
Yes.
Is
I put an amen, brother pound up in the air for that one. I'm just.
Oh, please don't say that ever
No,
again.
I just think bands
Amen,
who take
Brother Pound.
themselves too seriously are just silly. Unless it's black metal and it's
say, 'cause there's a place
and I
for that.
still think that's silly.
and
but
even
I love
then,
it.
that's at a hilarity of like
It's just like
overcommitting.
It's
Yeah.
a spectacle. That at that point it becomes a spectacle. But yeah.
So
getting off
Brian, like,
topic.
where do you, Brian, where do you find the balance of being yourself and being the artist? And is it easy for you to be that guy all the time? Are you just is it one person?
It is one. We're all like always kind of changing a little bit, right? Depending on our environment. So I think, when you're in a place to write music, you can still be yourself and be a totally different person than when you're like in front of a crowd and just loving the fact that you're getting to play music. I think that's kind of a big thing. Is like, I don't know, when I'm in the mood to write music, it's to be in the right headspace. I don't know. It's just like, I want to be thoughtful and I want to be, maybe just talk about the real things that really matter, and a lot of that's kind of dark, a lot of it's depressing, but that's just the real shit, but when you're like on stage or when you're trying to like have fun and like promote your shows and stuff, like that can be you too, being like funny, like, and being out. So it just goes back to just being genuine all the time. Like, don't fake anything. If you don't want to like write a happy song, don't do it.
Let's once Joe gets here, we can do a little round robin finish.
Oh, a little
round
robin.
Ooh.
Hey, is there another
Yum.
beer in there that I might partake of?
Come on in.
Be there
Let's
for the
try
music,
something.
not the barbecue.
All right, here
some?
we go.
Okay, yeah, I gotta
I
get
don't know
going.
if this is gonna work. I
gotta
like
go.
the idea of this because it's a big group.
It's okay.
Okay.
So everybody put out your hands and close your eyes.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Just kidding.
fuck.
No, not like that.
Palm
No.
open.
Palm up or down?
There's a lot of trustworthy people in
Yeah.
here.
Well, because you said
hesitant to
close
do
my
that.
eyes and open my hand.
Not
That
mouth.
last. that was the point. Yes, Scott. Thank you.
This is one of my favorite things we try to do one day on a podcast, which was I think we tried it with band names, but I think we should just see if we can make a sentence going the whole way around.
Fuck
that's a
yes.
good
Like
idea.
basically,
Like-
yeah.
We could do a few rounds, different people can start it, but we'll just go in a circle, so each person says a word, and you try to make it a real sentence or ridiculous or whatever.
Test
So-
the improv
Yeah.
skills.
I was a
see.
camp counselor. I
Just
know
a
this shit
sentence?
works.
We can go beyond that, but we'll
Let's call
warm
this
up.
game the camp counselor.
Yeah.
So okay, everybody. Again,
Whoa, that's something.
close
Yeah,
your
that
eyes.
was a different
Close
game.
your
That's something
eyes.
different, by the way.
Do we end the sentence
Ryan.
when it gets around the
Yeah.
circle, or does someone just say period?
Got to be an all-inclusive sentence, hopefully.
Including punctuation. Everybody.
Yeah. No.
All right.
We won't care about the
Tim,
grammar.
use
Are we
a
doing
preposition.
clockwise or counterclockwise?
We'll do clockwise, like a real person.
Okay. Not like a
You
communist
monster.
fuck.
Yeah.
Who's going
I
first?
didn't know counterclockwise people weren't people too.
So Matt Jones started.
No, they're
off.
the
All right.
communists.
Here
Don't
we
worry.
go. Communists.
Like
Running.
Aardvarks.
That guy.
In
Desperate.
Times.
Semicolon.
But
when
It's
Having.
a
Moment.
Of.
Absolute.
terror.
ISIS.
Yes.
continues.
Touching.
my
Ding ding dong.
Period.
Period.
Hey. All right.
My tra la la. Nice.
Please me.
That was a good show. Yeah, that was not bad.
That wasn't bad.
So when the aardvarks are running and they get in times of stress, ISIS just keeps touching my
Ding
ding
dong.
ding dong.
Ding dong. I can't
I
believe
do
you
believe that
remembered
was the
all
sentence.
this shit.
Basically, what I do believe.
Good.
It's basically what I got from that.
Yeah. There
Trying
was a
to teach-
semicolon
we're
too,
trying
so it
to
was
teach people.
two separate clauses. You
Nice.
know, I like
Nice.
Yeah, it
what you
was.
got going on there. You know.
So the whole ISIS part was like was the times of desperate terror, right? That was like the example of times of desperate terror.
Yeah.
Take that,
Jim
ISIS.
considers aardvarks and ISIS in the same circle in the Venn
Realm.
diagram.
Aardvarks
Yeah.
can't be trusted.
Exactly. I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's a Venn diagram.
Yeah,
You got aardvarks, you got ISIS, and then you got in the middle.
yeah.
You know.
Aardvark
Touching ding
terrorists.
dongs.
Yeah.
The otters.
Touching ding dongs and ding dang.
All
I
right.
feel like that's the end.
Yeah,
so,
that should do it.
So
Hit him with the
June
honey.
16th is the day.
Yeah, come on out.
Big party day.
Boom.
Stubb.
Night, really, but
Come out. Said it
Circle
already.
jerk has begun once
yeah.
again.
Stop
Yeah.
sitting on your ass.
Aha.
So come on out. 9:00. Just 2 bands.
fuck yeah.
You can eat
Maybe
a bunch of
some
meat while you're there,
surprises.
drink a bunch of beer. The Radio Attack Tour.
Yep.
Coming to a city near you.
Yep.
Unless you're on the west part of the United States.
Or anywhere we're not going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
The Finite Tour.
The Great Beyond.
Going
Finite
up
Tour
to
coming up
Midwest.
soon. FiniteFidelity.com.
Finite Fidelitor.
FairCityFire.com.
Sweet.
All right.
Y'all been great.
Take no more.